Pheromones. More people recognize the pop culture phenomenon of pheromone technology than recognize pheromones as an actual human sensory system. In fact, there is scientific evidence for at least 4 types of pheromones in humans. Scientists have figured out the basis of the system, and they continue to study it because no one's really sure how the whole mechanism works yet. So, how are pheromones affecting your life?
Chemical seduction, subliminal transmission, animal attraction. Do you love my pheromones? Chemical subliminal animal. Do you love my pheromones?
Here's what we do know. Pheromones are most likely produced by the apocrine glands, which are located on the forehead, around the nose and lips, the earlobes, armpits, the navel, and the anogenital region. Pheromones are produced and detected automatically and unconsciously. Our normal or conscious sense of smell is the work of the olfactory epithelium, which is located in the upper region of the nasal cavity. Humans cannot detect pheromones using these receptors. Rather, pheromone detection occurs in the vomeronasal organ, or VNO for short. This organ is located at the base of the nasal cavity. When vomeropherins are applied to the VNO, humans do not report any conscious olfactory reaction, but still exhibit other physiological changes, such as alterations in heart rate and skin conductance. Scientific research on this subject was delayed because of several cultural and cognitive roadblocks, which made people reluctant to study or even acknowledge the existence of human pheromones. For one, Westerners tend to think negatively of smell. Social sniffing is considered animalistic. We also disdain body odors and attempt to cover up our natural aromas by showering more than is hygienically necessary and by wearing deodorants and perfumes. This disdain is not present in every culture, however. Some regard social sniffing with less contempt. For example, Inuit people rub their noses together as a gesture of affection, but they also lick their hands and rub them on each other's faces. These areas of the body are closely associated with personal odor and the release of pheromones. Another reason we underestimate the importance of our sense of smell is that we devote more brain tissue to senses like hearing and sight, while the amount of brain tissue devoted to smell is proportionately small. But our brains interact with smells differently. Our olfactory bulb projects directly into areas of the brain that involve memory and emotional response.
The complex nature of pheromones also impeded study. For one, unconscious senses are harder to investigate. For another, it was more recently discovered that there are many types of pheromones, each with different methods of functioning. Also, in humans, not all pheromones have a species-wide effect, as was once expected. Some pheromones are so specific that they produce different behaviors in different people.
Who are you, dear lady?
Of the multiple types of pheromones, at least 4 are present in humans. Releasers are stereotypical pheromones. They quickly elicit a specific response from another individual. Some animals use releasers to summon mates, but the only known releaser in humans is emitted by breastfeeding mothers to summon their children. Signaler pheromones can also influence behavior, but they do so indirectly. They give information about the individual producing them, such as the genetic material that allows mothers to recognize their kids even while blindfolded. Modulators are pheromones that influence emotions. For example, male sweat pheromones have a calming effect on women. Primer pheromones, which act more slowly than the others, affect developmental and reproductive stages. Primers are responsible for the reported synchronization of menstrual cycles amongst women who live together.
Much study has been devoted to the possibility of a universal sexual attractant pheromone. But because of the existence of signalers, which indicate genetic compatibility, it appears that humans are too complex for such a one-size-fits-all effect. One example that demonstrates this notion is the idea of immune system specificity. Different immune systems have different major histocompatibility complexes, or MHCs, which means that each person's immune system is resistant to a unique array of diseases. The healthiest reproductive strategy is to mate with someone whose immune system complements your own. For example, mice are more likely to reproduce with mates whose MHCs are different from their own. Another study found that humans also distinguish odors based on MHC. Women who were asked to rate the sexiness of sweaty t-shirts rated them as being sexier when subjects were of a different MHC.
Women's noses really may be helping them sniff out a suitable mate, and at the time in their monthly cycle when they're most likely to conceive. But Oberzacher's team had a hunch that women's sense of smell was also doing something else, steering them clear of relatives. To test this, they tried a variation on the smelly t-shirt experiment. Among the t-shirts being rated, Oberzacher placed one belonging to a woman's brother or father. When confronted with the sweat of a family member, the related woman had a strong and strikingly negative reaction.
It's actually this dislike of closely related people is a sexual dislike. So this is a sexually repellent odor. Now we actually think that the major role of dislike of similar odors would be in incest avoidance, because closely related individuals will have a very similar immune system and therefore very similar odors.
In its own way, each type of pheromones acts as a system of communication. The messages they send are useful in mate selection, reproduction, and survival of newborns. The surprising element is that this is a form of communication over which we have no control, and of which we have no awareness. The idea that we have more than 5 senses, for example that we have a sense of balance, is already surprising. But this system is not just adjusting and protecting our bodies, it's directing us and communicating with others for us, and we aren't even aware of it.
The idea that there are realms of reality that we cannot sense is already unnerving. It makes us question how good our perception of reality is. But the idea that we are sensing things that we cannot perceive is even more disconcerting, because it reminds us that there are functions of our own brain that are hidden from us. To add yet another layer, the sensations we receive via this system affect our behavior.
Whatever happened to free will?
This in turn leads us to question how much control we have over our actions. We generally consider ourselves to be self-directed beings, not just biological robots. But if we can't evaluate all the things we perceive, we can't control how we act in response. Because humans have very few releaser pheromones, which cause direct actions, pheromones don't completely take away our idea of free will, and that almost makes it harder to stomach. Pheromones affect not only how our bodies behave, but cognitive and emotional things, like which people we identify as friendly and our mood. These cognitive effects can then change the decisions we make without us realizing that they impact us at all.
Natural pheromones may increase one's sexual attraction to another person, but as we've seen, they probably cannot determine their action. Yet what about the already difficult distinction between attraction and love? Pheromones influence how attracted we are to someone, but also our mood around them, and whether we perceive that person as friendly and kind. What independent cause of love could possibly be separated from all of these factors? If pheromones control so many unconscious aspects of how we feel, could it be possible that they really do work the way they're portrayed?
Did you receive my encoded information, dear female? Let me know if you accept my invitation, dear female. Am I compatible with your plans? Are you available for a fair romance? I know with perfect unknowns, but do you love my pheromones? I'm still waiting for your secretions. I am ready for a chemical connection. Am I compatible with your plans? Are you available for the fair romance? I know with perfect unknowns, but do you love my pheromones? Do opposites attract, or do birds of a feather flock together? Do opposites attract?